Good morning, welcome back. It's another early morning show, and it's a cold one. It's cold out there today. It kind of was warm yesterday, and then it got really cold because our friends in Canada, thank you, Canada, sent us a bunch of cold weather again. Another Arctic front or whatever, just crap. They're also sending us some truck convoys. They're blocking the borders and things. So, yeah, hey, but we still love you. I love you, Canada. I do. It's a very beautiful country. If you've never visited it, it's well worth going to. But we must move on. So we put on a little something extra. Come on. There we go. And the host with the most. Here is Kat. Yes, meow. Okay, well, let Kat kind of sit down here for just a minute. Got a little behind on watching BC videos last week. The Olympics, the Olympics. I'm trying to watch everything at once, but it's always been exciting. Having a good time with it. I think there's just one more week left, right? Super Bowl, though, this week. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, it's going to be a great week. Okay, but you ready? We're going to start. How should I? Yeah, let's start with this. I have this single. Isn't that neat? Look at that. Isn't that cool design? This is Spaceman 3 Transparent Radiation in Honey. And I got this at Radio Wasteland. He received this box of incredible singles, especially if you like punk and you like the Clash, especially if the Clash is a big thing. This is cool. So I'm going to have a video clip of this, and just to kind of show you this box, because it's like, wow. This is the one I picked. This was not a cheap single, but it's Spaceman 3, which is a group that I totally enjoy. So take a look at that. All right. So I guess that's probably the easier way to go, right?
Yeah.
So I get there. Don't mean to mess you up.
No, it's there.
Man, it's a lot of cash.
That's Big Black.
Oh, that's Big Black, huh?
Yeah.
Rima, Big Black. And our Astro Man. Cool. Extra respects. Okay, thanks. I have a few other singles here. These, and I'm going to talk more. I have this from Mark. Mark at Mad for Vinyl. This is part of the stuff that he sent. And again, this the unexpectedness of what was in this box, between the books and this. Postcards and stuff. It was really neat. But I'm going to show you the singles, and later I have some albums to show you from Mark Mad for Vinyl. Right now he's doing a really neat series on his audiophile records, and the things he's found through the years is really incredible. It's all, these mo-fis, some of these early mo-fis, he has. It's like, God, wow. I mean, it's amazing. He goes out, he buys collections, but he also does the digging. Some he purchases, but very incredible stuff. And I think he's done like 8 of them now on his mo-fi. Nice thing about Mark's videos is they're 3 times as short as mine. Yeah, 3 times. He moves along. He doesn't have all this crap. But we talk more because Cat's here, right? And that's what Cat wants. But he did send me. We have Jesus Loves the Stooges. This is off Bomb Records. The Kingsmen. The Crunch. That's off Wand Records. There was Figures of Light. It's Lame. Off Norton Records. And I don't know anything about this group whatsoever. The pretty things all light up. And we have ZZ Top. I thank you. That's on both sides. I love ZZ Top. So, again, just part of it. Mark, thank you. And I have some more of the actual albums that Mark sent coming up. So we will show them. So let's dig in here. The first is from a Vinyl Me. Excuse me, Vinyl Me Please. And I've told you it can take me months to show Vinyl Me Please, but this is one of their newest ones. It came out for the month of January. Sigur Rós. I may be saying it completely wrong. S-I-G-U-R, Sigur Rós. I normally say Sigur Rós, but it's Icelandic. I don't have a prayer. None of you, unless you're from Iceland. Take a look. If you're from Iceland, you get it. Hey, I could say that. Why can't you? But otherwise, Welsh and Icelandic, forget it. Well, for me, even English. But the group's out of Iceland. They formed in 1994. Their name, Sigur Rós, was named after the birth. One of the members. He had I believe it was a sister. A sister was just been born a couple of days before the band formed. So they named it after her. So that's kind of a neat story, isn't it? They signed to the label Bad Taste. This is what the Sugar Cubes were on. And they had it in their head. This is true. They thought, if we sing in a falsetto type voice, we're going to appeal to more teenage girls. Now, let's face it, most guy rock bands, it could be even lady rock bands, they're there to appeal to teenage girls. They're very young. This is a way to get a date. This is a way to get whatever. So that's what they do. But if you've ever heard this group, you're going, would a teenage girl really like the stuff they're laying down? I mean, seriously, it's really moody, and I don't know, but maybe it worked out. I can't tell you on that. This is their second album. This one, it's translated as A New Beginning. If you try to say it, it is, look at that. I'm going to get new glasses here this year. Yeah, forget it. Why bother? But it's translated as A New Beginning. Came out in 1979. Again, second album. This hit the charts. It was like this slow build. It spent like 2 years. Word of mouth as more and more people heard it and listened to it. And it actually became one of their biggest albums. Yeah, a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows use music off this. You wouldn't know it. You would just, who is that? What is that going on? Unless you know this group and go, God, that sounds familiar. But it's been such a popular album being used in other things. the guitars, they're like reverb accentuated guitar work. The music, it's ambient, it's art rock, it's dream pop. They have like strings happening, kind of these deep strings, and this falsetto wail. And it's just like a wail. And with his voice, it's just so different, so strange. It's like it's lonely. It's like you're in the middle of Iceland by yourself in winter. Very lonely and out there. Beautiful. It's gorgeous, elegant. It's melodic, extremely dreamy. Such a, great album, Finally Please. I had a few of theirs on CD, but never in vinyl, and really happy to have that. My first new album of 2021. It's an EP. It's from the group Massage. If you remember, Massage was one of my top 10 albums last year. The Vinyl Douche introduced me to them. So they did this EP. There's a couple of demos on here. The vinyl is, I think you would call this milky. It's not pure white. It is kind of it is a milky color. And it came, I ordered this from the group. I saw it, and I you know what, something I rarely do, but I did. And it came with a book. So we got this little book somehow. Oh, no, well, yeah, it goes like, this is just, look, it's, what the hell? I don't know, but it's like weird ass drawings. They're cool. I wish I could draw like that. That's neat. But it's done. It's different. Okay. So it came with this. And that's great. The insert, not bad. Always nice. The music, so Massage, and the name of this is called Lane Lines. It's their EP. Again, came out in January of this year. They're an LA indie pop band. The music is of jangle pop. It's pretty upbeat. This has, from the album from last year, the guitars are heavier, and there is, I think, it's a stronger drumming. So they kind of push it a little bit more. The harmonies are great. Yeah, again, it's just 6 songs. But if you like the group Massage or haven't heard it, it's worth pulling up and listening to. I think they're a wonderful group, and one of these newer groups that I've found that I like. A lot of that dreamy pop I like. I definitely like anything with a shoegaze type feel, but yeah, cool stuff. Brand new. Radio Wasteland Punk Hall. Big Black. These are 2 wonderful original Big Black. We'll talk about this one first. So Big Black, they're from Evanston, Illinois. Formed in 81, broke up in 87. It's post-punk. There is noise, there is industrial in here, and just straight ahead punk. The music, I would say, best is described as aggressive and abrasive, with the lyrics all basically being very social and political, and they don't hold any punches. It's best known for the group formed in college by Steve Albini. He formed it. And they were at Northwestern College in Evanston, Illinois, and that's where the group had started. This is their first full-length album, Atomizer. Now, and isn't that great? It reminds me of Lichtenstein, the artist. Lichtenstein? I think it's beautiful artwork. But this was their first full-length album. They'd done a bunch of EPs, but then they came out with this. And there's like a song. The songs are, there's different paces. So when they first came out, it was very, very all in your face. Now they vary the tempo some, which is nice. And so it kind of makes it a little more different and breaks it up a little bit. Lyrically, it deals with child molestation. It deals with wife beating. It deals with animal torture. Yeah, it's not, it's just not the one. If you're feeling kind of depressed for the day, you don't really sit down and put this on unless you really want to, kind of get angry, more angry. It's good stuff. The drum machine is interesting. So you think of post-punk group, punk, or even the 80s, rebel against the drum machine. They take it, they embrace it, they put it on here. It's their love of craft work. So it's just first full-length album, very, very nice. Then this song, and Atomizer it's called. Song's about fucking. Okay, and you know what? You don't hear those words on my channel, but it's on the title, so now you do. It's one of those words I just don't ever say. Don't need to. Real nice. This is perfect condition. Like the other one, the vinyl's almost unused. There's a little crinkle here. That's about the worst I can tell you about this album. This is their third full-length album. This was made as they were breaking up in '87. So, songs about fucking. It will not help your love life. If you want to make out, if you want to have a love-making section, this is not what you put on. I repeat, not what you put on. My wife won't do anything with me for the next year or so after this album. So yeah, just don't do it. It's not going to help anything. So very misleading title, very misleading. The song, so again, it's a sonic attack. It comes at you, it hits you in the face. The songs are really about ugly characters in here, just people that are just bad. And so it's just this attack, and it's very ferocious. They do have one song on here called The Model that is their tribute to Kraftwerk. I thought that was neat, okay, so they come in and they do their thing. But aggressive. So 2 albums from Big Black, a group that really had not been a part of my collection before, so I'm really happy to have them. Then we're going to go back into, I have some albums I'll show you that I did not have before, that from Mark, Mad for Vinyl, that he has given me. And there's more coming. That green one back there is one of them. This one I talked about in 1971. And I never had it. And for those of you that already watched that video and heard me talk about this, my apologies for once again saying a lot of the same things. But David Crosby's first album, I Cannot Remember My Name. And as someone pointed out in the comments, yeah, that was very true. I'm sure he did not remember his name by 1971. I've never owned a David Crosby album, never desired a David Crosby album. I just thought he was kind of an arrogant SOB. And you know what, so I don't care. And not, it wasn't about the music. I thought his personality. He actually was generous. He did a lot of good things too, but he was hard to work with, and it was about him. And so I've always ignored him till Mazzy had said, you need to listen to this album. He goes, this is a very, very good album. And in 71, him, along with the other three members of Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, all released studio albums, their first albums, and they all made to the top 15. That's how powerful that group was. So this was his. And he had what it was, the name of the group was called the Plastic Earth Rock and Roll Orchestra. That's who backed him up. It was members of the Grateful Dead, members of Jefferson Starship. It was anybody else hanging out, really the Laurel Canyon group. You know, Joni Mitchell was on there. And as they were recording this, they were also recording the Grateful Dead's American Beauty was being recorded, and Paul Kantner's album, what was it called? Like Blows Against the Evil Empire. That was it. Those were also being done. So these people were just jumping back and forth. Because of that, what you get is you get kind of it kind of meanders and very loose playing. You know, it's just like, hey, sit down, let's just play whatever. And so you have that, but it works. Some of the songs are just very much Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. What was it called? Tama El Pile High. You know I'm saying it wrong, of course, but I mean, you swear to God you listen to Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. Others, you know, he's doing his own thing. There is a lot of acoustic in here. Sounds beautiful. There's one a cappella one, but it beautiful. I'm so happy. Mark sent this to me. He had shown these albums. This is Man If You Got an Extra, and he did, and that was wonderful. Here was one he sent, and I never heard of Tasty. Tasty has 15 albums. I've never heard of them. You probably never saw them. This is their second album, and it's called Good Rats, and it actually was their most popular album. Tasty is a group formed in '64 and supposedly are still going. They're still going strong. It's rock, it's blues rock, it can be hard rock. You know, you're around that long, you kind of change things up, don't you? And, you know, I said, this album came out in, what year was this? 74, I said. And they formed in '64. This album, their second one, came out in '74. You could tell they really had to work. There's a lot of great bluesy guitars, especially Injun Joe. I mean, Injun Joe has just this cool sound to it. Some of this is really hard rocking. When Back to My Music, the lead-off track just comes out and slams you, you know, hard rocking. Then there's like jazzy guitar. So they kind of change up the guitar playing. Really good album. You know, I was kind of surprised and shocked. Yeah, is it a group that I would go out and buy everything up? No, it is not. But is this something that I would pull and listen to and enjoy? Yes, very much so. So, Good Rats. Tasty's the group, Good Rats.
He's a genius, everybody knows a BS. All he's pushing egg beaters and trays. Mike and Gary Allen, Mark, they all think they're the heavies. But it's me who's fatter every day. Might as well get back to my music, Might as well.
Then another one that he sent was the Staple Singers. Be Where You Are. Be What You Are. Be What You Are is the name of the album. And this came off Stax. You can see the kind of the insert there for Stax. We have the different Stax albums that are available. This was the Staple Singers at their prime. You know, they formed in '48, passed in '94. Or ended in '94, Gospel, soul, R&B. Like so many, you start with gospel, but by the 60s is getting accepted that you can go, Little Richard, he stepped forward and went. James Brown was gospel. He kind of began doing some of his own thing. So many of these guys, the biggest one, Sam Cooke, when he went soul and R&B, it showed you can do it and not, at least you hope you didn't sell yourself to the devil. These guys always kept a lot of their gospel roots though, and their songs still showed it because that was an important part of them. On here, this album came out in, what year was that? It was 73. In 72, they had their big song, I'll Take You There. This one had their second biggest song, If You're Ready, Come Go With Me. Went to number 9 on the charts, number 1 on the Billboard charts. Just beautiful stuff. They're using their soul. They have some soul, rhythm, and blues happening, but also their gospel spirits. Their gospel influences are definitely here. So great stuff. Right, them at their peak. This was, I think, their second best-selling album. This is really nice. Raised in Brass. So great stuff from the Staple Singers. Final one, fascinating album. This is Cuban. Cuba, Music Revolution, The Culture Clash in Havana. Experiments in Latin Music, 73 through 85, Volume 2. Volume 1 was probably be worth getting. It's 3 albums. Every one has a lot of writing explaining what's going on. What happened in the 70s is after the Cultural Revolution, it wasn't about being an individual. They did not recognize Afro-Cubanism. That's not a thing. We are all the same. By the 70s, they began to loosen up and suddenly they began to recognize things. So during the 60s, a lot of music was just banned. You couldn't do it. It was individualized. Dancing, couldn't do it. That's individualized. It's about the collective. Things loosened up a little bit in the 70s. And they began to morph. And this shows how the music was morphing. It's fascinating. There is so many different things from psychedelic to salsa happening. I mean, even salsa wasn't allowed because, again, it's dancing. They had their traditional music was charanga. Now, charanga, it uses violin, flute, and percussion. Kind of, a little boring. They took it and they added into the electric guitar. They had trap drum sets, even synthesizer, and they made it into sanga, is what they call it, and it became the music of Cuba. It is just a fascinating exploration of groups and songs that were out there, and you go, wow, that came from Cuba? Are you kidding? Again, but they were getting away with it. They were saying, well, we are doing this, and a lot of the lyrics might be political as far as, Cuba's great, but the music was changing and warping, and it really cool stuff. This is available out there. I just got this later last year off Soul Jazz Records. So if you want to have a neat compilation exploring the music of Cuba in the 70s, because it's awesome, this is it.
Del amor estamos hablando, por amor
That's oh, there we go. We're done. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as you do every Sunday. Those of you that have subscribed me and actually came to the end of the video, which is a shock in itself. Hey, great job. Thank you very much. Come back next week, all right? It's going to be a warmer week next week, so thank you. Have Kat, the host, who's down here purring, says thank you also. Have yourself a great week. Bye.